Good morning, students. The continuation of the topic system of particles and rotational motion. In that we are discussing center of mass. Previously we discussed already coordinates of center of mass derivation, that is for 3 marks. Next is position vector of center of mass, also we have taken in the previous class. For n particles of masses, this is a position vector of center of mass of system of n particles. For n particles of masses m1, m2 and so on mn, with the position vectors r1 bar, r2 bar, rn bar. The position vector of the center of mass is rcm bar is equals to equal to m1 r1 bar, m2 r2 bar and so on mn rn bar by the total mass m1 plus m2 plus m3 and so on mn. This formula, only formula will be also asked for 1 mark question. Next is velocity of center of mass of system of particles. In this formula there is a symmetry. If you take the xm, it becomes m1 x1 plus m2 x2 and so on mn xn by denominator is total mass m1 plus m2 and so on mn. If it is ycm means what? Y coordinate of center of mass is m1 y1 plus m2 y2 and so on mn y1 by total mass. Similarly, position vector, when you talk about the position vector, it is the displacement vector of the any particle from the origin. So rcm, you have tried to put the position vector means you must put a bars. Next is what is the velocity? If the particles are not at rest, they are moving. The m1 is moving with the velocity v1, m2 is moving with the velocity v2 and so on. Then differential of the position vector gives the velocities. Velocity is nothing but equal to displacement by time, or changing displacement by time. We can take the differential form dr by dt. Along the x-axis means dx by dt. Along the y-axis means dy by dt. Like that we can take completely position vector. RCM includes xyz coordinates. So we can take the relation dr by cm by dt. Differential of this you have to take left and right side. So mass is a constant, no, take outside m1 dr1 by dt, m2 dr2 by dt and so on mn drn by dt by total mass. It comes the differential form. So this is also equal to d by dt of RCM. RCM means m1 r1 plus m2 r2 and so on. I am writing here only m1 into dr1 by dt, d by dt of RCM, m1 into dr1 by dt plus m2 into dr2 by dt plus and so on plus mn into drn by dt. Vector form. m1 into dr by dt is nothing but equal to v1. So this becomes equal to vcm. Velocity of center of mass equal to m1 v1 bar plus m2 v2 bar plus and so on plus mn vn bar by total mass. Total mass may be given sometimes capital M is m1 plus m2 and so on. m1 plus m2 plus and so on plus mn. If only 2 particles are given, m1 v1 plus m2 v2 by m1 plus m2. This final formula is important for the numericals. If velocities are in the same direction, along the x-axis you have taken positive plus you have to take it. If they are going in the negative axis direction means or opposite direction, any particle is going opposite direction, that velocity taken as a minus. This where the continuation of this where v1 is nothing but equal to dr1 by dt is velocity of m1, v2 bar is dr2 by dt, velocity of m2. So on we can take vn is drn by dt is velocity of nth particle. This derivation they don't ask, but they will ask only the problems. And note point, if a particle is moving in opposite direction, the velocity is taken negative. Is moving in opposite direction, then its velocity is taken negative. Minus you have to take the velocities. So position vectors, x coordinate, y coordinate, z coordinates and position vector, and then velocities. Next we take is acceleration of center of mass. velocity differentiation is nothing but acceleration. dv by dt becomes equal to a1. And one more thing is the momentum also, we can take the relation from this velocity of center of mass by denominator. What do we take the denominator to m1 plus m2 plus m3 in total mass can be taken as equals to capital M only we can take. Next is linear momentum of center of mass. Mass into velocity itself is momentum. Denominator what you are taking is can be taken as a total momentum. What you take is velocity of center of mass is equals to m1 v1 plus m2 v2 plus and so on plus mn vn by capital M I can take, where capital M is nothing but equal to, they can be taken as a sigma m also, or integration of dm you can take, is equals to m1 plus m2 plus and so on mn is total mass. So this m into vcm becomes equal to pcm. Therefore linear momentum of center of mass is p cm. I am taking the vector form, is equals to m into vcm is equals to, you can also write in one line, is equals to m1 v1 plus m2 v2 and so on plus m2 v2 plus and so on plus mn vn. We can write this also as pcm is equals to, this is going to be p1 plus p2 and so on pn. Any momentum particle is opposite direction, no, we have to take it as negative. Next we want acceleration. For acceleration purpose what we take is differentiation of the velocity is nothing but equal to acceleration. Next point is acceleration of center of mass. Center of mass of system of n particles. That is a cm we can take. Acceleration is nothing but equal to dv by dt. This please in the vector form if I am writing right side bar, left side also have to take that bars. Velocity of center of mass is nothing but equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2 plus and so on plus mn vn is the velocity. But we want acceleration of center of mass is acm equal to d by dt of vcm, which is nothing but equal to, the differentiation of this velocity is nothing but equal to acceleration. I can write this as m1 into dv1 by dt plus m2 dv2 by dt plus and so on plus mn into dvn by dt. Therefore acceleration of center of mass can be written as dv by dt, dv1 by dt is a1 equal to m1 a1 plus m2 a2 plus m3 a3 plus and so on plus mn an in vector form by differentiation, oh sorry 1 minute, by total mass m1 plus m2 plus and so on mn. Here also we have by capital M by m, where m is equals to m1 plus m2 plus and so on plus mn is total mass of all the particles. This is also asked for the numericals. They don't ask derivation, only numericals purpose. Formula is no. Any particle is having the acceleration opposite direction, no, that acceleration you have to take it as a negative. Next is if you want to get the force, mass into acceleration is nothing but equal to force. That is supposed to be external force. mass into acceleration of center of mass. Acceleration is also equal to dp by dt, or F external is equals to mass into dp by dt of center of mass. Rate of change of momentum is acceleration from the Newton's second law, F equal to ma terms, and from this definition rate of change of momentum is nothing but equal to force. Sorry, 1 minute. Acceleration is equals to, sorry, 1 minute, which is can be written as mass into velocity is momentum, dp by dt. Rate of change of momentum with time is nothing but external force, we can also take. And rate of change of acceleration can be written as rate of change of velocity with the time, which is of center of mass. Capital M is the total mass. Next important point for this is what happens if there is no external force on center of mass. System of particles can be many number of particles may be there. If there is no external force, not internal force, you should not consider. If you take the particles, there may be attraction between these particles by the gravitational force. If they are the charged particles, there may be attraction repulsions. The internal forces do not have the center of mass. We must consider only as an external force. Just like inertia of the objects can be changed only from the external force from applying from outside. You cannot push yourself, but you can push others. If you are pushing yourself, means that going to be internal force. Action reaction on the same body will be cancelled. But if you push somebody else, you can easily push. You can push the car from outside. By sitting in the car, you cannot move the car because the force are internal. If you are pushing from outside, it is going to be external force. So we can push of other people means external force. External force can change the velocities and momentums and can produce the accelerations. So we have to consider external force. Internal forces like attraction, repulsion between the objects do not affect the center of mass. That point is important here. If there is no external force, what happens? If there is no external force, then external force is equal to 0. Then acceleration center of mass is 0, or momentum or velocity remains constant. If the mass is anyway, however, constant, total mass is constant. So that point is important here. Only external force can change the center of mass. Change center of mass means its velocity we can change, or momentum we can change. Can change the momentum, velocity of center of mass. Internal forces do not affect center of mass. This is important. Next, this is another important point is if there is no external force, then what happens? If there is no external force, then center of mass moves with the constant velocity. That constant velocity can be 0 also. Constant velocity or constant momentum. That means this point only they will ask for one more question. Important ones. That means we can write the expression as F external is equals to total mass into acceleration of center of mass is equals to 0. We have taken it as if external force is equal to 0. Therefore, mass is not 0 means what you get is, therefore, acceleration of center of mass is equals to 0. There is no acceleration means velocity of center of mass is equals to constant, or momentum of center of mass PCM is equals to mass into velocity of center of mass is also constant. They don't ask explanation generally, only this point they will ask you. What happens to the center of mass if there is no external force? Its velocity is moves with the uniform velocity or constant velocity, you have to say. Velocity is constant is the point you need to say. Next, here we will take the continuous distribution of mass. We have to discuss the center of mass related to continuous distribution of mass. Previously we discussed the system of particles, means collection of the objects like 3, 4, 5 particles with finite separation. We call it as a collection of the particles of finite separation as a system of particles. But now we are taking the continuous distribution of mass, means a rod you have taken. For this rod, maybe uniform thickness is there, maybe not uniform thickness. Non-uniform thickness means different thickness at different points. This is non-uniform thickness, this is uniform thickness, everywhere same thickness. If it is circular rod, same radius everywhere you have to consider. So here this is uniform thickness. For this atoms or molecules, there is no much gap. Angstrom units gap will be there always, that we are not going to consider here. So it appears that particles are everywhere. That is called the continuous distribution of mass. In the case of the continuous distribution of mass, how do you find the center of mass? For that, applications are not there for your syllabus. We just need only formulas for this center of mass, but they are important for the competitive exams. For this, we have to take the linear distribution of the mass, linear density, areal density, and volume density of the particles. X coordinate mass means like rod, sphere. These are the symmetrical bodies, cylinder, etc. They are considered the continuous distribution of particles. Or solid bodies, we can take any solid bodies or hollow bodies. Mass is everywhere, not particles. X coordinate of center of mass is xcm equal to integration of x dm by integration of dm. Dm integration is m. Dm is a small mass we consider. This you can witness 1 by m into integration of x dm, where dm is small mass, small portion, or mass of small portion take. So supposed to be small mass you can take, portion or part of solid body. What is x? X is distance of dm from origin, and integration of dm equal to the capital M is total mass of object. It is not a particle, we are taking the object or solid bodies. Similarly, we can take y coordinates. For example, I will take this example, they don't ask you. I have taken one rod of length L, this point A, point B, from here to here. Length of the rod is L. Total mass is m. I am taking the small portion of it. This is x-axis. Small portion of the coordinates of this center of mass is, for example, is here. This is going to be xcm. And small portion I am taking here in this rod of length equal to dx, a distance equal to xm, its mass is nothing but equal to dm we have to take. Then integration of that part becomes equal to this relationship. And how do we get that extraction of this xdm? We will take the next step. xcm. Only formulas they will ask you for 3 marks question or 2 marks question. ycm, y coordinates of center of mass is ycm equal to 1 by m integration of ydm. Similarly, z coordinate, this rod example I gave only in the x-axis, but you get to take any by x, or the object can be within the xyz coordinate system anywhere, in 3-dimensional coordinate system also can be there. But integration limits, we have to take it from this length, that is a, to the length L plus b. From here the distance becomes equal to a, the total distance becomes equal to a plus L is the distance up to b point. The limits will take the integration limits starting value to highest value while integrating the problems, but don't need to bother about it. For theory they don't ask you. Next is z coordinates. Of center of mass. ZCm equal to 1 by m integration of ZDM. These 3 formulas you need to remember. One more formula is there, that is a position vector also we can take. Position coordinate of center of mass. This is for continuous distribution mass only. Position vector of center of mass for continuous distribution of 1 by m total mass integration of r dm. This formula also you need to remember. Only formula problems only for competitive exams. Anywhere, the origin in this diagram is taken outside the object, but I can take the object here rod, here also I can take the origin at center of mass also. Our choice, center of mass, that point important, center of mass do not depend on coordinate system. We are taking the help of the coordinates to find center of mass, and in reverse not possible. Center of mass independent of the coordinate system only depends on the mass distribution of the particles of the object, or this mass distribution of the particles you can take. How the particles are distributed, how much mass at what distance, that only determines the center of mass, but do not depend on coordinate system. This point is important. Center of mass do not depend on coordinate system. You can take origin anywhere, but center of mass depends only on the distribution of the particles, how masses and their distribution. Only on masses and their separation. Distribution means separation. Next is these 2 points important. If center of mass is at origin, then what happens to XCM, YCM, ZCM? Then XCM equal to 0, YCM is equal to 0, ZCM equal to 0, RCM also equal to 0. That means we can take that integration term, position coordinates we can take. XCM is integration of x dm by m equal to 0 is also equal to y dm by m, capital M outside integration is also equal to z dm by m is equals to RCM into dm by m integrations is equals to 0 we can take. This also will be asked only for 1 mark question. What happens if center of mass at the origin? What about the coordinates? The values you have to take a 0. Next is linear density, linear mass density, or simply called as linear density. There is no fixed symbol for this. Generally for the electric charges we will be getting in second year topics, linear charge density we call along the lengthwise. It is a one dimensional, how the along the mass lengthwise, how the mass is distributed, called the linear mass density. It's the symbol I am taking it as a lambda. It's nothing but the ratio of the mass and length. Mass per unit length, per means divided by, per unit length is called as linear density or linear mass density. The word mass they may not give for the first topics, linear density only they may say. Therefore lambda is nothing but equal to mass by length. It is for one dimensional distribution of the mass, means along the lengthwise we have to take. It is for rods. Taken symbol as m by l we can take. M is the mass and l is the length if you take the rod like that. Wires, rods, we take this relationship. So points we take. It is the ratio of mass and length of rod or wire or thread, string, like that we can take. So units we can take a kg per meter. Dimension formula m by L minus 1. It is a scalar. It is for a linear distribution, means lengthwise distribution of mass. It is one dimensional. Or called as a linear or lengthwise distribution of mass. It is scalar and always positive. Next units, SI unit of linear density, kg per meters, kg per meter, dimensional formula. Kg mass symbol is m by L, means L minus 1. T is not there, time is not there, means T minus 0 we can write, or mass length time MLT, time is not there, means power 0 we can write. Next, if the uniform distribution is there, mass is along the lengthwise everywhere same thickness, everywhere same thickness is there, means called as uniform distribution. For uniform distribution of mass, for uniform distribution of mass, mass is proportional to length. That means, or m is proportional to L. Proportionality if you remove, you will get the constant. Therefore, m is equals to lambda into L, or lambda is nothing but equal to m by L is constant, called as a proportional constant. That is what we have taken as linear mass density. If non-uniform distribution of the mass is there, I have taken the rod, the different mass like this. Here mass is different, here mass is different. Center of mass is always close to large mass side. This is a non-uniform distribution of mass. In such cases, lambda is not a constant, it changes from point to point also. For non-uniform distribution of mass, lambda is not equal to constant. Mass is not proportional to length. If mass is proportional to length, what happens? If we take a rod, here in this case lambda is equals to constant. If lambda is constant, m is proportional to L. In such cases, if the length is L, half length I have taken, mass is becomes half, L is also becomes equal to half. Like that, if you cut the rod into parts, mass always remains proportional to L, so lambda is constant. But in this case, if you cut, previous case, if you cut the two parts, mass becomes half, L also becomes half. But if you cut in two parts, here more mass is there, here less mass is there. Masses do not become exactly half, even the length becomes a half. This is a non-uniform. Okay, this is written. This is example for this. This is for uniform distribution of mass. L by 2, L by 2, m by 2, m by 2. This L by 2, L by 2. This is m1, m2. m1 is not equal to m2, even though lengths are halved exactly. Next is areal mass density, mass per unit area. It is a two-dimensional, like a plates we consider. Mass per unit surface area or unit area is called as areal density or areal mass density. Symbol is sigma. It is for circular plates or any plates of circular or rectangular shapes we can take. Okay, we will take that as the subpoints. So we can take mass by area or surface area. It means to say this is nothing but equal to m by a, where m is mass, a is surface area. For uniform distribution of the mass, we take this sigma is equals to constant. Subpoints we need to consider. It is the ratio of mass and surface area. Area of plates, that is for two-dimensional distribution of mass. It is for two-dimensional. It is for two-dimensional distribution of mass. It is scalar and always positive. Units, SI units, SI units is kg per meter square. Dimensional formula, area, meter area means length into breadth, we can take L into L is L square. So mass by L square we can take. Dimension formula of sigma is equals to m by L square means ml minus 2. M by L square take it to the numerator becomes equal to ml minus 2. If we want a t to the power of 0 we can write. It is for the circular plates. This area part, circular plate of radius r. Area is equals to pi r square. For rectangular plates, area becomes equal to length into breadth. Take this breadth and length. That is required only for the numericals purpose. Next is for uniform distribution of mass along the area. For uniform thickness, of plates, mass is uniformly distributed. Mass is uniformly distributed. Then mass is proportional to area. M proportional to A, M equal to sigma into A or sigma equal to M by A equal to constant. This point is important for uniform distribution of mass. Mass is uniformly distributed. In such cases, uniform thickness also you can say sigma is equals to constant. For non-uniform thickness, sigma is not a constant. We take the problems linked only to the sigma constant terms only, but most probably the problems will not be given for the first case, only for competitive exam that important. Next is volume, mass, density. Or simply called as a density. We generally call it as a density. That is, symbol is rho. Mass definition. Mass per unit volume is called as volume, mass, density. The points. It is the ratio of mass and volume. Is ratio of mass and volume. That means this rho equal to right here. Volume, mass, density. Rho is equals to mass by volume, m by v. M is mass and v is volume. And units we can take kg per cubic meter. It is a scalar and always positive. All these three quantities, linear density, linear mass density, areal mass density, volume mass density, all are scalars and always positive. It is scalar and positive, always positive. SI unit of rho is kg by volume means cubic meters, meter cube. Dimensional formula of rho is equals to volume means length into breadth into height. That means m by L cube, ml minus 3, and it is for 3-dimensional distribution of mass. It is for, that means thickness also we are considering here, then it is 3-dimensional distribution of mass. That is for sphere, cylinder, etc. For uniform distribution what we get is, and one more thing, volume for the sphere if you have taken, it becomes equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube. For cylinder base 2 pi r into area into length pi r square into L you have to take as the volumes. For uniform volume distribution of mass, for uniform volume distribution of mass, mass is proportional to volume, or mass is equals to rho into volume, or we can take rho equal to mass by volume equal to constant. If volume is halved, mass also becomes half, it means to say. Otherwise rho is not constant. Next is for sphere, solid sphere I am taking here. For solid sphere of radius or volume v equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube. So if you are taking the sphere of radius r, its volume is 4 by 3 pi r cube. For the cylinder, if you have taken cylinder, solid cylinder, area is A, radius is r, and area becomes equal to A, length is L. For solid cylinder, mass is m. of radius or length L, volume V equal to area into length. Area is nothing but equal to pi r square into L. For the given volume, mass is given means you must be able to calculate the densities.